Hello. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Imperfectly Perfect True Crime and More with Jay Diaz. And Lolita, she's out for the count. So, we just want to say, if this is your first time on our channel, thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really appreciate it. Please like this if you like it. Please share it if you find it shareable. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you to all my old subs and all my new ones. I really appreciate you guys so much. I apologize. I'm still running behind on the comments, but I will get to that. I promise you. I also wanted to put out a trigger warning. There's a lot of crazy stuff, what I'm about to read you. And also, this is under the Fair Use Act. So, I am doing another video on ErNiE SheLL and all of the stories that he likes to share. So he did a live called An Assembly of One on his channel Rescue Our Children. So from minute 38 to minute 52 and some seconds, this took place. So I'm going to read it to you. It's written exactly how he wrote it, word for word. And I just want you guys to hear this. Okay, here it starts. Who the hell is ErNiE SheLL? Ha. I remember as a kid coming through the house. I was a little bitty old fella. There were certain rooms we could go in and certain rooms we couldn't. I'm walking and my uncle comes up, coming through the house. He's still alive to this day, matter of fact. Him says, we gotta go, we gotta go get that bastard. We gotta go get him. Can't let him go. We can't let him go. I remember stuff like that. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I never had no clue, matter of fact. I remember them picking me up and giving me a hug, setting me down and letting me go on my way. I was just a bitty old kid. I remember everybody coming in and grabbing guns, going out of the house. I can remember hearing the shotgun, and then he chuckles and he goes, psh, psh, makes a shotgun sound. I remember them loading up the trunk. I'd be looking out the window and them going down the road, watching them as they go out of the home. That night they'd come in. I remember laughing, cutting up. They come in right before dinner. I'd be there at the table, and as they'd come in, I'd have to leave the room. I remember them taking whatever they had in the back of the trunk, pulling it out behind the house, and we had an old coal chute. It used to go all the way up from the top of the road. I always wondered, why put it in the top of the road? They would throw anything they wanted to into that chute. It would go down and around. It would go through the coal building, is what we called them. But you could put anything in that little ramp, that little chute. Hell, we used to get up there and slide down that chute. We'd slide down that damn thing. Lord have mercy. In the wintertime, they'd bring in truckloads of coal. Shovel coal all through it, and then we'd just slide down. I remember people coming into my papa's one morning, groups did, bringing my papa stacks of money. Talk about this person getting involved and that person involved. I was just a kid. I don't know why it's so engraved in my mind now. I will never forget the man that was being drugged behind our home. I remember my papa's hands were bloody. His knuckles was bloody. He's dragging this feller. I remember he passed me and I looked at my papa and I said, Papa, what are you doing to this guy? What are you doing to this feller? He looked at me and said, I'm taking this man to meet God. I always thought that meant he meant church. I never knew what was going on. When I was in school, I remember being checked out and them saying, what's going on? What's going on? They were checking us out and I could see ambulance lights. I could hear police lights, hear the police sirens and stuff. People was getting me out, getting me to the house. They was like, your dad. I was like, what are you talking about? I was probably in the 6th grade. I remember one time, I was sitting at my mama's and papa's, and there was a knock on the door. The door opened, swung open. The police, my uncle was standing there, and he said, Mac killed a feller. Mac killed him. Mac killed him. Mac blowed his head off. You just hear it. I was in the 7th or 8th grade by the time. I remember everybody running through the door. I didn't know what was going on. And, police, you know? Long pause. Never did move much. Didn't have much of a TV, but we had the newspaper. I remember hearing all kinds of stories about my dad blowing a guy off the back of a motorcycle. My mom shot him off the motorcycle. I don't know. My uncle shoving an axe handle up a guy's ass on the railroad, walking on the railroad, and him taking the blame, him going to jail because he was already going to jail. So my dad wouldn't go to jail. He's talking about his uncle taking the blame for his dad. I remember this. I was just a kid, you know. You remember stuff like that. My mama was always the glue that held everything together. When people would go to jail, my mama would go to jail. My mama would go right down there. Next thing you know, it ain't who you know, it's what you know. Or it ain't what you know, it's who you know, pretty much. They'd come out, no charges. People would be arrested. Another long pause. Lots of stories, lots of stories. I remember with the bus line, we'd be waiting on the bus. Papa was mad at the bus driver, and he didn't like the bus driver, and he pulled him off the bus, put a pistol to his head. I'll never forget that. Never will forget it. I remember being a kid. He was begging. I was begging my papa not to shoot that man. Another long pause. Then he says, let him go. I remember him coming back to school. I remember him chasing him around the classroom. He hated that bus driver. Papa did. Hated. And then he sucks his teeth and takes like this big deep breath. And then ErNiE says, I remember when my brother got both of us sent off. And they just, instead of just taking my brother, they were just like, we'll take all of them kids and put them in different homes. And we was just 14 right after we had been put in the trunks, in the back of trunks of a car. That day, I remember it. Another long pause. I remember my dad taking me places. I was just a little bitty old kid, itty bitty old kid. He'd tell me to stand on this pad. It was like a little gel pad, like they'd put electrical leads to my feet, my toes, my fingertips. Another long pause. My dad would set my little box like a little TENS unit thing, but it wasn't a TENS unit. I remember them taking, he said, my kid's stronger than your kid, and they make bets, and they'd turn stuff up on me. I remember at first, good God, it was really bad. He would tell me that it was work, and it would make my muscles stronger, and he would turn it up. First, it was like on 2 or 3. I was just a little bitty kid, little bitty old kid, 5 or 6 years old, standing up. I remember they would take this gel-like substance, and they would rub it all over my arms, and it would hurt more and more. It would hurt even worse. They would put it in and turn it up, and he looked at me and would say, cry, you best not fucking cry. He'd always say, it's a part of training. It'll make you tough, son. You're going to need it one day. To this day, I can take a TENS unit now and put it on any part of my body and turn it all the way up, and it doesn't even affect me at all. That's what I've told people. I've said, I've been hit by. I said I've been shocked. I mean, I've been tased 3 times. 2 of those were I gave consent for training, but it ain't like what it should be, because if you do that, I don't know. When I was a kid, I went through a lot. Another long pause. I remember he would go and pull little kids out and he would get ready to fight their daddies. He said that parents' kids or that kids' parents, he'd make them come out to the road and fight me. He said, if you ever back down, if you ever do this or you ever do that. I remember the evil laugh. He beats us with dog chains. It wasn't his fault. He too had things happen, had things done to him. That's why you can't find him now. There is no record of my dad doing what he did. My dad used to go into Harlan County, Harlan, Kentucky, Allen Wagers. He hated police. Police would pull my dad over and he would tell them just as it is. They wouldn't do nothing to him. You can't find no records of my dad. Why? I know why. Never answers anything, never completes the story, but he says, he starts talking to his chat. And then I was, after all that fun shenanigans, I saw another little thing that my girl Crafting Through the Lies. If you haven't seen her channel, you should go and subscribe. She's awesome. She put something and it kind of goes with what the trunk story. So that is this. A woman says to ErNiE something, and she says, the story is, what happened to your son, or was it before that? He says, it was before that. I didn't even know it. You know, like how your brain shuts certain things out, like trauma events when you're a kid. She says, ErNiE says, when I was a kid, when I was 10 and 11, my mom talks about a story where me and my little brother we was forced into the back of a trunk. And people with guns forced us in the back of the trunk. And I think we was found in Atlanta, Georgia. And then after that, I put all that in my head out. I mean, I just blocked it. And then one day, I was already doing this stuff. I was already doing what I'm doing now, you know, with, working with Predator Bus. Then all of a sudden, you know, my mom just blurts it out to me and I'm like, what did you say? And then she says it. It's like it reopened it back. Then, of course, I was just like a purpose. It was like a calling, I guess. And I started doing this and I was like, wow. And then I started progressing on it. And as you can see, it's all real big now. And it's just all happened. And here's another one. Another story. I was there. There was a guy who asked for me, asked for a ride one time, and I did. What? I didn't know. He stole my cell phone. He stole my phone, and I didn't know that. And they said that. They seen a guy throwed it out. He throwed it out or something like that, and people mailed it back to me. But I was looking like, where did you find that phone? Where did you see it at? And they said that it was by Renacosta, Georgia. And then he said Renasac, Georgia, then Renafasta, Georgia. So I'm not quite sure. I was like, wow. They was like, yeah, it was right by those missing people. The ones that went missing. And I was like, oh, wow. It was right at the gas station where they found my phone and stuff at. I thought, whoa. So that person that I gave a ride to, it's God's will, but they were stalking me and they were tracking me. Isn't that wild? But they stole my phone. They had stole my phone and it was found in Renacosta, Georgia. So, and it was mailed back to me. So I was lucky to get back. And plus, you know, a lot of it I look back at. You guys, I swear to God on my life. So, but anyway, I know a lot of people don't believe me and they think I'm crazy and just like making this stuff up. So please, if you would, an assembly of one, from minute 38 to minute 52, 18 seconds, all this fun stuff takes place. So I just had to put that out there. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I will get back on track. I apologize. Things are kind of crazy here. So I hope you guys have a beautiful, blessed day or night wherever you are. Stay safe, stay blessed, and cherish the simple things. Spread love, not hate, and we are just trying to take predators off the street one by one, and the stories and saga continues. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.